In the third consolidation working video to accompany the module devoted to dealing with intra-group trading, we will tackle a scenario in which the parent makes a transfer of a non-current asset to the subsidiary at a price that generates a gain on disposal. So, example 3 reads, P acquired 80% of the share capital of S for €8,000 on the 1st of January 2017, when the statement of financial position of S was as follows. We are additionally told that the group uses the fair value approach to measure goodwill and that the fair value of the 20% non-controlling interest was €2,000 at the date of acquisition. Reading on the 31st of December 2018, so that is 2 years on from the acquisition, the statements of financial position of the two companies are as follows. We are also told that immediately after the acquisition, P sold to S an item of property, plant and equipment at a price of €1,000. At the time of disposal, the item had a net carrying amount of €700 and a remaining useful life of 5 years. The assessment of the asset's useful economic life did not change as a result of the transfer. And our job is to prepare a consolidated statement of a financial position as at the 31st of December 2018. As always, the first working concerns group structure, and we write that P owns 80% of S. The second working is subsidiary net assets, where we find the standard 3 columns and just 2 rows, as the unrealized profit element, which we will calculate in a moment, will need to be eliminated from the retained earnings of the seller, and that's P. So, in the first column, we will have 5,000 in respect of share capital and 3,000 for retained earnings. Moving on to the consolidation date column, we may input the relevant equity balances of S. As at the 31st of December, that is 5,000 and 5,500 for share capital and retained earnings respectively. Accordingly, the post-acquisition column shows nothing in respect of share capital and a positive €2,500 for retained earnings. The third working, goodwill, begins with the €8,000 investment by the parent entity. Next comes the NCI value at acquisition, which under the fair value approach equals the €2,000 provided in the scenario. The two numbers are then added, giving a total of €10,000, from which we deduct the €8,000 fair value of the subsidiary's net assets at the date of acquisition, which we take from the acquisition date column of working 2, and this yields a goodwill balance of €2,000. The fourth working begins with the non-controlling interest value at acquisition, and that's the €2,000 already identified as part of working 3. To this we must add the NCI's share of the subsidiary's post-acquisition reserves, and that's 20% of the post-acquisition column total from working 2, so 20% of 2,500, which gives another €500. Accordingly, the consolidation date NCI balance equals €2,500. The fifth and final working, group retained earnings, begins with the entire retained earnings of the parent as at the date of consolidation, giving 17,000, to which we add the parent's share of the movement in the net assets of S. This is equal to 80% of the outcome of the post-acquisition column from working 2, that is €2,000. As already noted, we must, however, adjust group retained earnings downward for the unrealized profit resulting from the intra-group PPE transfer. The size of the adjustment is calculated by comparing the carrying amount of the asset now with the hypothetical carrying amount that would have existed had the sale never occurred. So, at the time of transfer, the asset was carried by P at an amount equal to €700, and given a 5-year remaining useful life, 2 years later it would have been held at 3/5 of the original amount, that is €420. 2 years on from the transfer, S carries the asset at 3/5 of €1,000, that is €600, which necessitates a downward adjustment of €180 to group retained earnings and non-current assets. Please note that if the sale were made by the subsidiary instead of the parent, the adjustment would be presented in Working 2, Subsidiary Net Assets, affecting the post-acquisition reserves of S. Overall, the group retained earnings balance comes in at €18,820. Let us now put all of the pieces together in the consolidated statement of financial position as at the 31st of December 2018. We begin with goodwill, which was computed as €2,000 in Working 3. Next we have other assets, which equal the sum of the two values coming from the books of P and S, but also reflect a deduction of €180 to eliminate the unrealized profit element included in the carrying amount of S's property, plant and equipment, which brings the total to €31,820, resulting in overall assets of €33,820. Moving on to the equity section, the share capital of the group is always the same as the share capital of the parent, so €6,000. The group retained earnings total derived in Working 5 was €18,820, whereas the carrying amount of non-controlling interest was €2,500 as computed in Working 4, producing an overall consolidated equity balance of €27,320. Group liabilities are the sum of the relevant P&S numbers, coming in at €6,500, which brings the balance of consolidated equity and liabilities to €33,820.